I would like to call on the next speaker, Dr. Dolapo Oluteye, who is a senior research fellow from University College, London.
Good day, everyone. Can you hear me? Good day, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. Just a little bit of correction. My surname is Oluteye, not Oluteye. It's great to be here. As I was introduced earlier, I found out about this wonderful conference or summit, I think on Saturday morning, and I just thought to myself, I absolutely need to be here. I stand on all existing protocols. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to present to you, I need help. IT. Right. Should I continue? So I'm here to present to you a project that is very dear to my heart. It's on the back of discussions that are happening at the International Maritime Organization. Just so that I'm clear, by show of hands, who knows about International Maritime Organization? A show of hands? Oh, very few people. Now, the International Maritime Organization is the United Nations specialized agency that looks at security and safety measures in international shipping. And so, for the past few years, there have been conversations about how to decarbonize international shipping. And it seems like my slide is not showing, so you have to follow me. You have to stick with me here. Right, okay, so to start with, there are existing policies. We heard about the SDGs and so many other policies that are existing to help us decarbonize the shipping. And not only decarbonize shipping, but actually decarbonize our climate. I don't know if anybody heard recently of flooding in Maiduguri. We have existential crises happening all over the world, in various countries, not only in Africa, that reminds us of the importance of decarbonizing the earth. And what do I mean by decarbonizing? Decarbonization is all about limiting and at some point removing carbon dioxide from the climate. How do we do that? There are various ways. We've heard of carbon capture. We've heard of various policy measures that have been deployed. My focus today is actually to remind us that hydrogen plays a really significant role in decarbonizing our climate and particularly international shipping. So I'll just move very quickly because I really wanted to show you things that are happening in the IMO to bring us up to speed. I think I'm being helped and supported here. Remove this, please. It's on. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Right. let me just quickly go back to the very beginning. Right. So this project you see on the screen is called LEAP. And I've depicted it here by a giant figure trying to jump. Let's see how. Okay, so I think we'll just move on without the slide. LEAP means Leading Effective Afrocentric Participation in the IMO. The intention is to reduce carbon emissions. That is the focus of the International Maritime Organization in the current discussion that is ongoing. Thank you. All right. We'll have another go. So let's just focus on how we got here. From a shipping perspective, there are specific drivers that has led the international world to begin to speak about decarbonization. We start from the UNFCCC Convention, where the importance of, thank you. So when I start clicking, apologies. IT glitches, you can never plan for these things. Right. Just come and stand with me and present with me. Just present with me here. So, in any case, please if that shows, that's fine. If it doesn't, it's okay. Right from the UNFCCC all the way to where we currently stand today, there have been various conventions and principles that have been discussed at the international level, at the UN level, for us to decarbonize international shipping. Hydrogen plays a really critical role in these conversations that we're having. Now, there is something that one of the professors mentioned when he was here, and Professor Bamidele also emphasized a little bit, but I'd like to amplify it, and that is what we call just and equitable transition. Nigeria stands, and various other African countries and other small island states, we stand at a cusp of making sure that transition is just and is equitable. What do we mean by justice and equity in equal opportunity to contribute to transition? This is where this auspicious occasion plays a significant role. Nigeria needs to be a first mover, in hydrogen production. Why? Just wait a minute, we'll get there in a second. If you don't remember anything in my conversation today with you, I want you to remember what they call the GHG, and it is causing the Earth's temperature to increase to a point where the Earth, I remember in the FT, I think it was 2022, it reported that the Earth is not only warming, that our Earth is beginning to boil. So we have come to a place where the story or the catalyzation of hydrogen becomes extremely important. Now, whilst we're talking about climate, please, can we turn our attention also to money, economy? Nigeria, as an example, and some other African nations rely on the production of fossil fuel. How many people know that? Fossil fuel production is like the bedrock of our economy. But I want to give you a different perspective today when we speak about hydrogen. We've heard about hydrogen. We've heard about the potential of hydrogen to be produced at scale in Africa and also in this country. Can I lend you an idea? What if hydrogen becomes one of the most critical fuels that Nigeria can rely on to support our economy, to build capacity, to help our industry to do things right the first time? And I have so many ideas that I'm going to share with you, but I want to turn your attention to what we call the short-term, the mid-term, and the long-term measures in the IMO policy. So what is being discussed right now, and we've come to a point right now in the UN IMO conversations, where we're talking about the mid-term measures. By way of years, the short-term measure is in 2030, the mid-term measures is in 2040, and the long-term measure is by 2050. By 2030, there are certain levels of emissions that is permissible by international ships to emit fuel. And when we look at the trajectory of these policy measures, by the time we get to 2050, hydrogen is one of the most critical fuels that the IMO is advising, and a lot of industry practitioners are pushing for us to adopt. Why? We've heard from the previous speakers. Hydrogen has 0 emissions. How many people in this room want to live in a world where the climate is friendly, you can plant crops and they will yield, you can go outside and not feel like you need an umbrella or a sunscreen? How many people? Please. By show of hands. Nobody? I want to. Now, in our world where we want to reduce carbon dioxide production and limit the Earth's temperature to 1.5, according to the Paris Agreement, I submit to you today that there are 3 critical things that we need to think about in the importance of hydrogen production. And I'm saying this from a country perspective, Africa. Number 1, we've heard, and I don't want to repeat what has been said, the vast resource that is available to support hydrogen production. I want to see Africa at the precipice and at the cusp of accessing these resources, mining it, and using it to promote hydrogen production. International shipping contributes to nearly 3% of the GHG emissions globally. But listen to this. 80 to 90% of trading relies on international shipping. Now, if we want to decarbonize international shipping and we want to reduce the emissions, we need to shift our focus on 0 emissions fuel. What you need to generate hydrogen is not a lot. You need land. Africa has vast amount of land. You need water. We are not short of water. Nigeria is a coastal country. You need sun. We have this in abundance, and I can keep going. So why is it that we can't be part of the first movers to catalyze hydrogen production? Please, whatever is being said today, for the students and for the dignitaries seated up front, please, I want us to engage with the conversation. It is not something that we should turn our noses up to. It is something we need to engage in. The conversation that is happening globally is moving ahead. Regardless of where Africa is, we need to join forces with the international community to collaborate, to partner, to get investors. We have money in Africa. There is wealth in our waters. Let us exploit what we have to the benefit of our people and our nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dolapo Oluteye.